Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We have a great show today. Our guests include Kip Shaw, the head football coach at Central, Parker Childress, the head football coach at Will Rogers, Codi Lee, the volleyball coach at Booker T. Washington, Walter Williams, the head track coach and cross country coach at Nathan Hale, Jonathan Brown, the head football coach at Booker T, and Hana Clancy and Kelly Bowman, our athletic administrators for sports medicine. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we have the championship coach from Tulsa Central, Kip Shaw, and Tyon Cox, one of his great players that really had a great weekend in the All-City Thursday and Friday last week. Coach, first time Central's won that thing in a while, isn't it?
This is our second time in 3 years, so
Yeah.
we've been pretty fortunate. With young men like Tyon and all that, and the hard work they've put in, we were able to come out on top.
Had some good games. You're looking at the scores. Football looked like it was played pretty well.
We did. We had the opportunity to play some strong teams. We started out with Hale, and then we played McLean, who was always our rival. Coach Ponder always does a good job of getting them prepared and ready. Then we played Rogers, and Coach Childress has done a remarkable job. Him and I talked Saturday morning, and I told him they've come so far, and they look really, really good. And they made us work for it, and that's a testament of my kids because we're a pretty young football team.
Are you young? What's your makeup?
We're predominantly, we've got about 3 freshmen starting. We're mainly sophomore heavy. We've got a few seniors like Tyon, probably about 6. So we are expecting, my 6 seniors are my leaders of the team, and that's what I need.
Tyon, you're a senior, and this had to be a great opening for you to win the Grady Skillerton All-City. What are your goals for this year as a senior?
Most definitely want to win a ring this year. And I want to have 1,000 yards receiving.
1,000 yards receiving. Do you have a quarterback to throw it to you?
Of course.
What's your quarterback's name, Coach?
Jamon Silas, great young man. He's really gotten better since the first week of practice, and you can just see the strength of his arm and his confidence and all that starting to build. So we're he's getting better every week.
You run a spread?
We run a spread offense. So we feel we've got the 4 best receivers in Tulsa County, and we're going to make sure we do what we need to do to get the ball to them.
Well, that's great. What's the defense look like?
Defense is really good. We've kind of converted to a multiple 3-front defense. The one thing about our defense is they can run. Tyon at linebacker, and I got a defensive end, Trey Johnson, Mylan Owens. We're just excited because we're so fast out there on the field, and we kind of limit what we have to teach them. That way it just lets them play.
When I coached at Kansas State, the practice field, there was a sign across the archway going in. If you can't run, you can't play. And that was really, really important to have that speed on the field, get to the ball, and make things happen when you get there. So, Tyon, you didn't tell me about linebacker. You told me about 1,000 yards receiving.
Now, linebacker, I want to have at least 3 pick sixes.
Really?
At least.
That would be fantastic. Do you play inside, outside?
Outside. I play jack.
I see. All right. Do you have a lot of stunts that you ever execute?
I'm still in the learning process because I got moved from DN, so it's still a learning process.
Still getting there. Yeah. Well, you better get there quick because
we play this week.
This Friday you got McLean. Coach, what about McLean?
McLean's always good. It's always a tough game. I get excited for it because of my relationship with Coach Ponder and coaching him in college. And, they have some great athletes. Little quarterback that actually was a freshman at Central a few years ago, Jeremy Crooms. He's looked so good. And I told Coach Ponder's done a wonderful job grooming him and getting him ready. Got some really good receivers. He's got a big defensive end. I can't recall the young man's name that can stand up and play linebacker too. So, they're always tough. there's always that little added extra because it's Central McLean. So we look forward to it.
That'd be great. What did you think about the McLean game?
I'm just ready for it. We gotta set the tone for the rest of our season.
First game's always important in preparation and everything. Coach, are you well? Is everybody well for this game?
Everybody's well. In this day and age, that's more than just injuries. Trying to avoid COVID. The kids have kind of taken up the initiative of wearing masks to make sure that they're doing the right things to keep themselves safe. We're pretty much injury free, so hopefully we have everybody 100% Friday.
That'd be great. I think that's one of the things that the X factor that we haven't ever had to deal with in the past is this virus, and it's one of those things I think that on a daily basis, not only the student athletes but the coaches worry about, because you don't know, you can be wiped out. One of the toughest things I think I ever did in 51 years of being in the business was when I had to tell Will Rogers they couldn't play in the state basketball tournament because they had 7 or 8 kids that tested positive. That was devastating, and you don't want to live with those kind of things. But if you do the right thing, protect yourself and wear your mask and do what you're asked to do. So what do you look like? I know you don't want to go past Friday night, but who's going to be tough in your district?
Hall and Hall is always tough. Veneta, my understanding, has gotten a lot better now. Hall and Hall is going to be tough. Verdigris is always a strong one. And Berry Hill, we play in a pretty tough district week in and week out. We've got to bring our A game and our hard hat and do what we're supposed to do. Now, if we do play the way we're capable of playing, we'll be all right.
How do you feel about the districts are out for the next 2 years after this?
Well, again, we play in a tough district. Bristow's moving into our district. Dewey's always got a good ball club. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of the same with Verdigris and those and so forth. So we want to have work cut out for us for the next 3 years.
A couple of new ones then.
Yes, a couple of new ones, absolutely.
Well, Tyon, I sure hope you have a great year this year playing both ways. And 3 pick sixes and 1,000 yards, okay? Well, maybe the 9th week of this show, we'll have you back and see where you are, okay?
All right.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for being here, guys, and congratulations on the All-City Championship. That's a big win. And when we come back, we'll have Parker Childress from Will Rogers and a student athlete. And Will Rogers came in second to Central in the All-City Classic.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have the head football coach, Will Rogers High School, Parker Childress, and his quarterback, Macuric, Demry. Correct? All right. Macuric thinks he looks really good on TV today, too. He just told us when we did the shot there. Well, Parker, great weekend. Obviously came up second, but pretty good showing for the Ropers in the All-City.
Yes, sir. We had a really good first night, playing a hard Edison team at the end of the night. Went to overtime. It was a long game, kind of tested the mental strength of the team, which is always good early in the season to kind of struggle through some things. And we won on a 2-point conversion at the end of overtime. It was a great little way to end the game, for sure.
I saw that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Was that your decision to go for 2?
Yeah, I asked my defensive coordinator, I said, I think the guys are pretty tired. Do you want to go for 2? And he goes, are you allowed to go for 2? And I said, yes. He said, well, let's go for it. So we called the timeout and drew a play up, and our guys executed it perfectly.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's good to win. Do you think the overtime additional plays had any factor the second night?
Maybe we were playing till late in the evening, but they had to go get their games too in the heat. Everyone's tired on that second day of Vol City,
Sure.
but playing for a championship kind of changes the intensity level. I think our kids did a good job rising to the occasion, and a couple different plays, swing a different way, it might be a different game.
And you guys play at home.
For sure,
That first
that's
round.
always fun.
Yeah,
It's
that
always
was
fun.
good. Macuric, as you get ready for this year, what are your goals?
I want to win well over 4 games. That's my expectation. I want us to get to the playoffs, and as my expectation for the team, I just want us to come together and play as a team.
What do you think you do best as a roper?
My legs.
Your legs?
Use my legs.
You can run, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have designed plays?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you going to tell us what they are?
Well, I do a lot of QB powers,
Yeah.
a lot of bootlegs. That's about it.
You like to throw the ball?
Yes, sir.
You have good receivers?
Yes, sir.
Can they catch the ball?
Yeah, they can catch. We just
Most of the time, right?
we have our honor. We have our days.
Well, everybody does. Everybody does. Do you play defense?
I'm going to this year.
Are you?
Just
Reluctantly.
a little bit.
Reluctantly.
Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
reluctant. So what? Strong safety, weak safety, what?
A little corner and safety,
Corner
free safety.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. You obviously prefer to play offense over defense, right?
No.
Oh, you don't want to play offense first? You want to play defense first?
Yeah, I grew up a hitter,
Oh, I see.
but
No wonder you like to run the football.
but I got talents on offense. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got to use your coaches. Got to use your talent.
yeah.
I know.
Well, as you look your evaluation, your first real head-to-head scrimmage with other people, how do you feel?
Feel confident in our team. We finally have a group of seniors and a group of juniors who have a large class both sizes. I'm not having to play sophomores and freshmen starting at varsity level, which is a huge step for us. We've been working for 3 years to build this program, and we finally got our strength coach for a full year over there, Coach Matt Beaver. He's changed a lot of things for our boys. That strength and conditioning builds confidence, and confidence is really important on the football field, knowing that you're just as strong as your opponents, or if not stronger. So I see us being a really, I think we're going to surprise people this year. I really think so. I think we can beat a couple teams that maybe are overlooking us and make the playoffs this year.
That's good. How are your numbers?
We're staying up there. We're at about 50. Because there's a helmet shortage, there's a national helmet shortage. I'm actually out of equipment, out of helmets right now. We're trying to call some local schools and try to get some blue helmets to match our helmets. So I think we're at about 50, maybe 55 by the end of that second week of school.
I understand that the equipment thing has really been through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Supplying all kinds of equipment for all sports. It's been difficult, and they can't get people to work basically, and that's unfortunate. So as you get ready for Muggy, how do they look?
I think they've lost some key players. They had a big defensive end, I think, move out to Beggs to go play over there. They still have athletes that they spread out on the field. I think we're going to match up pretty well with them, though. We have a pretty good game plan set up for their defense.
And you get to play at home.
And we get to play at home. It's always good to play at home.
Opening at home is really, really good.
Yeah.
What's your goal in that game?
Just to go show out.
Show up.
Just to show out. That's my plan.
What'd you say? You said 200 yards rushing?
Yeah.
200 yards
You
rushing?
want 200 yards rushing
As a quarterback.
How many tackles?
I ain't gonna get it on defense that game.
No.
I ain't gonna need to.
Oh, I see. I had an old friend named Lee Snyder. Lee Snyder was a tremendous football coach. And he was speaking at a clinic one time, and they said, what's your defensive philosophy? Because he was an offensive coordinator. He said, let them score and give me the ball. If I have the ball last, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how you guys did with your 2-point conversion.
That's for sure. Yes, sir.
Well, Parker, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck this year. Macuric, I hope you have a tremendous season,
Thank
offensively and defensively.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can have you guys back middle of the season and see how we're doing in the district.
Definitely.
Sounds good. When we come back, we'll have Hana Clancy, who is athletic trainer for the district, and we'll talk about the trends in athletic training.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Hana Clancy, one of our new athletic trainers we've hired this year. And Hana, we're certainly glad you're here.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here again.
Well, I tell you, I know Steve is happy that you're here.
I know. We're starting to get a full athletic training roster. So hopefully we'll have all schools covered here in the future.
I think it's fantastic. You know, it's been one of our goals since when I hired Mick Wilson, we knew that we were understaffed, and he and I both talked all the way through this, that we needed to increase what we do for our kids medically. And our superintendent, Dr. Gist, bought into that and said that is important. And so over the last 2 years, we've added 4 trainers, and I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
As you, how did you get into athletic training?
Well, I kind of go back a long way with athletic training. So I grew up an athlete. I played competitive volleyball my whole childhood. I went to OU. I did health and exercise science, intending to either go into PT or AT. I wasn't sure. So I got an internship with the sports medicine department there. So I got the best training as a student aide, and they just really, my mentors there just really inspired me at OU, and I wasn't ready to really commit to doing that right after college, so I started teaching and coaching. And so I taught for 5 years and coached volleyball, and when I became a volleyball coach, I went, oh, I really miss this. And so that kind of made me realize I want to go back and get my master's in athletic training so I can do this all the time.
Well, that's fantastic. And this is your second go around, because you were the volleyball coach at Rogers.
Yes. So I'm back 2 years. I took a break to get more educated, get my master's. I miss volleyball all the time, but I've only been working about a week and a half in this new role, and I'm so excited. I love it. I'm just excited for this new portion of my life.
Well, that's great. And we're glad you're here.
Thanks.
I think, now what schools do you cover?
So right now, this year, I'm covering Rogers, which is great because that's where I taught and coached at, and then also Hale.
Okay.
So it's been kind of challenging to bounce back and forth, which is, and it's good to experience that though, because then I'll be able to articulate that we really do need more ATs. Yeah.
What about as you challenge the student athletes and they come through with this pandemic thing that we've had? What issues does that cause for an athletic trainer?
Yeah, I think my biggest priority is just educating and trying to convince the students that, you know, we all want sports. We are athletes and we all want sports to happen normally. And we got kind of a lot of experiences were taken away last year, and we have a solution to that. And so whatever your reasoning is behind it, the number one thing is this going to help all of our athletes stay on the field? Yes. So let's all get vaccinated so that we don't have to quarantine and big chunks of our teams don't have to miss out and make arrangements. So that's kind of my biggest role. And of course, monitoring and making sure students who did have COVID are not having just like heart and chest issues.
Right.
Yeah.
In the last minute that we have here, let's talk, if you can briefly, what role does the mask play in athletics because they are exerting their ability to run and play and everything. How does that work with a mask?
Yeah, I think the first line of defense is get vaccinated, because then we don't have to really worry about that as much. If you're if you're indoors, you should really be wearing a mask, especially, our parents and families and fans can really help us with that in the stands and be socially distant. Outside, it's not as much of we're really safe outside, but we don't want to put anything at chance because we're also excited about football. So
Sure, you bet. Well, Hannah, I'm glad you're here today.
Yes, thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the TPS for the second time.
Yes.
And when we come back, we will have Kelly Bowman, athletic trainer for the district as well.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Kelly Bowman, trainer at Edison High School. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Hi, Gil. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here today. And boy, I tell you what, with the weather that we have going on outside right now, and of course, 3 of our 4 programs are outside. Volleyball, the only one being inside. What type of challenges for you is that as an athletic trainer?
We've been facing a lot of challenges with the heat the last couple weeks. I feel like, we always deal with this a little bit in August, but I feel like this year in particular, the heat's lasting well into the end of the month. Usually it's starting to cool down, but we're making all kinds of accommodations with ice towels and tents and shade and cooling stations and all of the things we can come up with. I know 2 weeks ago before school started, we had moved practices around. We weren't even starting until 6:30 at night to avoid the heat. Now with school starting, it's got us a little more fuzzy. Some schools are going before practice. Others are still trying to stick it out. Yesterday, we were inside all together. So we're trying to make the proper accommodations to avoid any of those heat stroke, heat illness, that sort of a thing.
That is a difficult thing, and I've seen this over the years, that it's harder, I think, now for students to acclimate to this because they spend so much time inside, as opposed to years and years ago, where I can remember when, as a junior and senior at Will Rogers, we'd play a game called Indian Ball over at the Yale Parks where there would only be 3 people. If you hit it to one field, we do that all afternoon, and they go play American Legion baseball at night. Or play 6-on-6 flag football. Mm-hmm. And today we do that with video games.
Right.
We don't do that outside. So acclimation is a difficult thing. How does that blend in with the issue that we have with the COVID? Is that something that you have to watch closer and to determine, is it heat exhaustion or is it virus?
Well, it's a mixture of both. So kind of what we've been kicking around as a team is how to properly keep these kids hydrated and cool down. Whereas traditionally, you see us running around with water bottles and everybody just passes them out. And so the kids have been advised to bring their own water bottles. Well, sometimes the kids forget them, or like they don't have access to them, or whatever the reason. And so we're still having to figure out ways to supply them with water and proper hydration. So our focus, instead of making sure they're passing from hands to hands and preventing that, our focus last week was more switched towards proper sanitation, because everything with football is on a time crunch. You know, like we're doing this drill for this many minutes and then we're moving. And so we're taking our water breaks in between, but like the kids are still hustling about. So we've focused more on trying to make sure everything's properly sanitized when it's going from person to person versus just eliminating that altogether, because then the kids are just going to end up too dehydrated.
As you get ready, preparation, softball's already started. Obviously, cross country has started, and volleyball. Football starts up this week. Now, it really intensifies what you do with the numbers that you have to see.
Yes. We have scrimmage on Thursday, and we've got softball games. Actually, softball's having a tough time with COVID right now. They've had a couple exposures already, so they're on quarantine at the moment. I will tell you, like, the key that's been really helpful for them. So a lot of our girls were actually still in the batting cages yesterday. The majority of our team was vaccinated, and so they don't get impacted the way that our kids who aren't vaccinated are. So that's been a big help to our coaches and things, like they can still do conditioning even though we're not playing. We can still get in the cages and continue practice that way. Our cross country team was running indoors yesterday. They have a meet on Thursday, so they're excited. They've been working really hard on getting acclimated to the heat as well. But masks everywhere. Masks are everywhere.
Well, that's a good thing. Do you have any idea the percentage of the student athletes that have been vaccinated?
I'm not sure. I know that SHIPS has been working on that in the past couple weeks, like getting an accurate count of our kids that have been. It hasn't been sent over to me yet, but I know at Edison we've got a good amount of kids who are vaccinated, and I think that that's really going to be helpful down the road.
That's good. I think now that the vaccination now is good for age 12, now to age 12. Yeah. So that encompasses all the student athletes that we would have.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. As you get ready for this fall season and then move into the winter season, what do you think your biggest challenge will be as an athletic trainer?
Moving indoors is always a concern. I think we're going to be definitely more worried about COVID from that impact. Our numbers within the county just keep going up. I'm worried about bringing outside people in. So when we've got families and spectators coming to join us, I'm a little worried about how that can affect the kids. You know, making sure we're keeping spectators off the courts and keeping them from hanging over rails and things like that are going to be key to keeping our kids safe.
Well, I guess that we're talking about 50% capacity is what I heard earlier on. So, well, good luck. I hope you have a great fall and winter and spring season, and come back to the show sometime, and we'll have you on. And when we come back, we're going to have Walt Williams, the head cross-country coach at Hale High School.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, where we have Walter Williams, the head cross-country and track coach from Nathan Hale High School, and two of his student athletes, Xailen and Berenise. Boy, we're glad you're here.
Hey,
Thank you.
glad to be here.
Tell you what, Coach, as we get into the fall season, and I think the heat has continued a little bit longer. You know, usually it starts evening off a little bit toward the end of August, and we're there. And this week it's going to be hotter than it's been all year long. How do you navigate through that and motivate your kids to be able to perform?
Well, you know, especially this week when we're looking at 3 digits every day this week, I definitely don't want to have them out when it's, 105 degrees outside and the heat index is 110, So, we have a fitness center treadmills, exercise bikes. There's dynamics that we can do just to kind of get the blood flowing, et cetera. So, letting them watch races. We're going in and like football teams, they watch game film. We'll watch races of other colleges and pros, and just to kind of keep the motivation going when we're not able to go outside and run.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I think some people don't realize that there is strategy involved in how you run the race.
Absolutely, especially in cross country. I train my kids to we train together. So we may go put in 40, 50 miles a week as a team, and when they're running, like when the boys are running, I train them, teach them to stay in a pack. And then as we get further into, say, if we're doing 4 miles, first 3 miles, you stay in the pack. And then that last mile, whoever's feeling it, try to pull away. And what I've come to realize is when you train in a pack, it motivates each other. They're motivating each other to run harder instead of one staying behind and everyone else, and they're not motivated because, well, he all the way up there, I'm not going to catch him. Well, let's push each other and stay together. And then when it's time to turn it up, then you do what you got to do.
When you get into the competition.
Yeah.
But Berenise, how long have you been involved in cross country?
1 year.
About a year.
What do you think about it?
It's cool. It keeps me motivated and it keeps me in shape for my other sports. Yeah, it's a really good
Keep you focused on academics too.
Yes, sir.
Xailen, what about you?
Actually, cross country. This is my first year.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, how do you like it?
I like it a lot, actually. I used to run the 2, 4, and 8, and I'm a long distance runner, so cross country is something I really like to do.
Excellent. So as you guys get ready to go, do you have any meets this week?
Not this week. The next race will be September 18th, Highland Hall.
I see. So you got some time to train, and acclimate to the heat.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you had to face any of the COVID problems?
Thankfully, we have not as a team. I have not had any of our athletes for track or cross country test positive, so that's been a blessing that we've been able to stay together and be able to train and not have to focus on that.
When you're training, people would probably ask, all this mask controversy that we have, you don't train with a mask on.
No, we don't. If we're inside lifting weights, then I have the kids keep the mask on just to be safe. But when we're outside, if they want to keep their mask on, I allow them to. I don't really necessarily force it when we're outside because, especially in cross country, you're so spaced out. You're outside. You're in the field. You're not boxing anybody out or tackling anybody. So I don't force it when we're outside training. Some kids keep it right here, but I don't force it.
Boy, and it seems like the cross country season does go pretty long. I mean, it goes into November, doesn't it?
It does go. This year's going into November. It's kind of a late start on meets, but it is going into early. Let's see. Actually, the state meet is the end of October this year.
Oh, is it really?
It's the end of October for 5A, 6A. It's the end of October. Yeah.
So that's a little bit early. It used to be the first week in November. It seemed like forever.
I think the way the calendar worked out, I think was that October 30th fell on a Saturday instead of November 1st or 2nd or whatever. I think it's just based on the calendar. Yeah.
So training, you start July 15th.
Right. We didn't start July 15th, but with kids getting physicals, this is a young team this year. Recruiting aspect, kids not certain because of COVID if they want to run, and with me being over the junior high program now, getting those incoming freshmen, they're accustomed to me, getting those out. So that's where we've been focused on.
Well, fantastic. Well, Berenise, what are your goals for this year?
To win another medal, get a better timing than last year.
Good.
I don't know, stay in shape for the rest of the year, for the rest of my sports, and just to get better in general.
Excellent.
Yeah, and get faster.
Xailen, what about you?
Do my best. Try. First time doing cross country. I want to see what I can do.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. Well, good luck, guys. I hope you have a great year, and We'll be right back, and we'll have Jonathan Brown, the head football coach at Booker T. Washington.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we have Jonathan Brown, the head football coach at Booker T, and one of his star athletes, Gentry Williams. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much, Gil.
Boy, I tell you what, Coach, how was your first scrimmage at Jenks?
I thought it went pretty well, actually, Coach. I think that the boys went out there and played their tails off. 14-13 was the final score. They were the 6A1 state champs last year, and I thought the boys played well. He didn't play. I set him down because he's coming off an injury. So for the boys to play as well as they did, without one of our number one players, I think that means good for us moving forward.
Good, yeah, that's good. And then, of course, this week we'll talk about that in a moment. But the Gentry, you came off that injury, and how has the rehab been, and how do you feel right now about coming into this year?
Yes, sir. It's definitely been a difficult process, something, in the end, I'm definitely grateful I went through, just to understand, it can be taken away, very fast. But in the end, I'm healthy, I'm ready to play, and just ready to start my senior season.
I tell you what, people don't realize, when my daughter was a senior, she blew her knee out her senior year and could not play. They played for the state championship the year before and got beat by Ponca City at the finals at the Mabee Center. And she didn't realize, at that time, it was in summer basketball when she blew it out.
Yeah.
And boy, when you miss that year, that opportunity is only, and you only have so many years to do that.
Yes, sir.
When you get like Coach Brown and I, you only wish, you could do that.
That's true.
So are you looking forward to your senior year?
Most definitely. I think we have a great team, great camaraderie between the guys. That's the biggest thing. Coach Brown's really preached that, fight for one each other. So I think with that, combination, nobody can really stop us this year.
Who do you think will be your toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent right now, we're looking at sophomore. Not trying to go too deep into it. We have some real opponents down the line, of course, but sophomore is really our main focus.
Yeah, it's 6A2 is almost as tough as 6A1.
Yes,
when you really talk about, and it's all about numbers. You get to numbers, and I noticed that there's a number situation at Booker T. What's the deal on that?
I don't know, Coach. We just we've lost a lot of athletes. I don't know if it's per COVID or with distance learning and all that stuff, but we're down to about 42 kids out there as far as 10th through 12th. But like my dad always says, and Coach Collins always says, you can only play football with 11.
That's right.
And so we're getting these guys ready to go, and we're not making any excuses because, as you know, being a coach and a former coach, we don't make excuses. We just go out there and play football, and hopefully everything will start getting better. But these guys are locked in. They're bought into this season, and they're enjoying their senior year, and they're enjoying this ride we're about to go on.
I used to tell our coaches that, and I was in situations where not so good. The job was open, so I took the job. And when I went to McAllister, they were 0-30 of the three previous years. And I said, I'll tell you one thing, guys. Come that first game at 7 o'clock, we're going to tee it up and play. You got to look at it that way, and you got to get better every week. And I think, you have that mentality because you've been there. What do you look forward to against Sophomore? How do they play?
They're a really good team. They like to run a lot of power formations with two running backs in the backfield. The quarterback is a pretty fast guy, pretty fast fellow. He can throw pretty well. They got two physical corners. And Coach Josh Norman, who's an OU grad and played football at OU, he knows how to coach, and he's going to have his team ready to play. And, we beat them last year, so I know they're looking for some revenge for us going down there, so we got to be ready to go.
They don't like that east side, west side stuff.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that the East has been so dominant in football over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They certainly don't like that. And I've told my colleagues over there, my former colleagues over there, I said, if you guys just emphasize athletics a little bit more, you'd be all right.
That's true.
I mean, you look at what we've done in Tulsa with the facilities and everything, and you look at our counterpart in Oklahoma City, and they haven't done anything like that. And in the suburbs, with everything. Gentry, as you get ready for your senior season, you've got some recruiting going on.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that process? Has that been a pretty good thing for you?
Definitely been a great process. I'm grateful for all the schools that's been in contact with me during this, time. But definitely trying to take a backseat as my recruitment, starting to start my senior season, just getting ready to play. It'll come a time where I have to decide and pick a school, but right now my main focus is playing my senior season with my teammates.
Do you think you'll go early signing, or will you wait till February?
I'll sign in December.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good rule. I think having coached at that level, that recruiting process just seemed like endless forever. And I wish that they would make that the final signing date.
Yeah.
And not go into February. It was such a tough thing. But what do you want to study when you go to college?
Business.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
So you want to be a businessman?
Yes, sir. Real estate.
Real estate.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. That's very good. An entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
Own some properties.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. Most definitely.
Well, Coach Brown, you've had a year anniversary for your daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Isn't that great?
Yes, it is. It's a blessing, definitely.
Kids are fantastic, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I've got two, and I'm sort of proud of them. But, well, good luck this year, guys. I hope the Hornets do well. And as we get into 6A2 and that district, which will be tough, we'll be certainly have you back. When we come back, we're going to have Codi Lee, the volleyball coach at Booker T.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now I have the head volleyball coach, Booker T. Washington, Codi Lee, and one of her star players, Sydney Thompson, who also knows our director, Dennis Burns. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Boy, you had a great weekend in Muskogee, huh?
Yes, we did. It was great. The girls played amazing. We had a few bumps at the beginning of the season, but I think we're really starting to work out those kinks, and this weekend was a really great confidence booster. We had good competition. We beat state runner-ups from last year, so I think we're on the right track.
Excellent. Who did you beat?
We beat Mustang. We played Sepulpa, who always has a pretty good program. Edison, conference rivals.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of those schools. It was great. Everybody got to play. We had fun. Everyone was cheering and jumping, and
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, it was great.
Sydney, how'd you feel about the weekend?
I felt great. Of course, starting with that bump and just not performing at our peak. It was great to go into this weekend and just get a win and keep winning, and then just to win the championship and get the trophy. I think it's just a big confidence boost, and it'll lead us into the next weeks.
Oh yeah, and of course you play in a tough conference, the Frontier Conference.
Yes, sir.
As good as it is, you know, really. Unfortunately, the people over in the West don't think it's that good. They don't understand.
Yeah.
So as you get ready to get into your conference schedule, how does that look?
It's tough. This week is probably our hardest week. We have Bixby tonight. And then we play state championship Bishop Kelly on Thursday, and then we have the Broken Arrow tournament, which always has good competition. They have a lot of teams from OKC. So this week is going to be a big test for us. But I think after this weekend, it showed that we can keep up with those big schools and we can beat them.
It'll be a good gauge to see how the West is and
Yeah.
who you have to beat over there to win
Mhm.
the championship. So how long have you played volleyball?
I started when I was 13, so about 4 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of late, isn't it?
Just a little bit. Usually in volleyball, people like to start at like 6, 7.
Yeah.
I played basketball though. I'm from a basketball family,
Sure.
so I was playing basketball. Then my mom played volleyball at TU, so then I kind of got into volleyball, and then I realized I just loved that, so I just took it and ran.
So you just play basketball or volleyball now?
Yeah, now I just play volleyball, and I play a little bit of tennis, but
You have to almost specialize anymore, don't you?
yeah. To go far, I think it's best if you can like stick to it.
Right.
Just perfect.
To go to the next level, it's hard to be multi-sport
Yeah.
participant. So as you get into this year, how's the makeup of your team? You have a lot of young players. or-
We have one freshman, a sophomore, and some juniors. We have a really heavy senior class who've played together since, 7th grade. So they're ready to win. But I think even if we have a young team, we still have the ability and the skills that we need to win. And they're stepping up. Like they're not playing like they're freshmen and sophomores. They're stepping up and playing like leaders. So I think that really helps us.
How are your numbers?
We look good. We have 12 strong. I like carrying a team with 12 because we can scrimmage each other. We don't have to rely on bringing up people or bringing outside people in to do that. And I think that's a good number. I won my first state championship with 12, and I think that's the sweet spot
Yeah, you
on the
bet,
team.
you bet. As you get, are you looking past high school to playing volleyball?
Yes, sir. I am deciding between a few colleges, OBU, TU, and then I have an OU visit coming up. So I just have a few more visits and have to talk to a few more coaches, and then I'll be making the decision probably in the fall.
What do you want to study?
I'm thinking about journalism, maybe communications, and something with social media.
You want to be in this business.
This may be it for me. You never know.
You might want this tape to, be able to send to people. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's, I really, really enjoy volleyball. I had not been around volleyball very much until I became a intercollegiate athletic director.
Mhm.
And of course, it's a big intercollegiate sport.
Yeah.
And my goodness, some of the matches that we had, it was unbelievable. And so I think it's a tremendous sport. What are your goals for this year?
I'm going to state championship. I always tell the girls, I'll see y'all there. I want to bring y'all with me. So I think we can make it there if we continue on the track we're on.
Are you healthy, all your student athletes?
Yes, we've been
no
healthy. We
injuries?
have, some sores, hurt shoulders, shin splints, but we're working those out. I always tell the girls, take care of yourselves. Like, take it easy. If you need to stop, you can stop. So just know your limits and take care of yourself, especially as the season gets tougher.
Well, and especially as we go through this pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
How has that affected you?
Well, last season it affected us pretty bad. We had a quarantine for 2 weeks right before our season opener. So our first day back was our season opener. So that was kind of hard and just working through that. But this year, everyone's been healthy. We're working through it. I always tell the girls, make sure you do what you're supposed to do and be smart about it, because we don't want to repeat of last year.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Has a lot of your players been vaccinated?
I think so. I think we have a good amount.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah.
That's good. I think the safeguards and the downside of not being able to play.
Yeah.
Is not worth it.
Right.
It's just really not worth it, especially when you're a senior.
Yeah.
'Cause you only get one last chance.
Yeah.
Like that. So, well, listen, we're glad you're here. Congratulations on
Thank
your big
you.
win this past weekend, and good luck in the season.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll have Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Air filter, cardboard box, toy car. The correct answer is cardboard box. Paper and cardboard are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But air filters and toys should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our last segment today, Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools. And Mick, we're off and running.
Gil, ready or not, here we come. So it's going fast and furious. We've got our cross country, we've got volleyball, we have football, we've got softball, you name it, we've got it, and we're off and running.
And cheer.
And cheer,
and
absolutely.
Cheer. Spirit fingers, remember?
Oh, I remember that story well.
The challenges that we have right now, obviously, with the heat. It's this. I saw the news this morning, and they were talking about that we haven't had 4 days in a row of over 100 in like 10 years or something. And we're looking at it this week.
It's been a little crazy. I'm sure the people that live in the extreme heat places are probably just making fun of us. But no, I mean, really, our bodies and our folks are not acclimated to that. Even with the OSSA mandate of the heat acclimatization days, we still have to move forward and do some things to be precautionary. And we're doing that. We've changed some practice times around this week, adjusted some things like that. And of course, when you do that, that messes with the schedules and kids' transportation. So there's several factors that we're weighing out today, but being able to deal with that. And then, of course, in the back of your mind, as you're dealing with the heat, you always have to be cognizant of everything we're doing with COVID right now. And again, it's kind of rearing its ugly head here as of late. And so we're dealing with that. But our coaches, our athletic directors have been very flexible and very accommodating with us and trying to keep kids safe at the end of the day. And not only your kids, but you keep your coaches safe as well. So it's been challenging, but we're getting there.
Do you anticipate any challenges with your 50% capacities because of the COVID?
Well, we had a little bit of a challenge, probably I'd say more so at Rogers during the first round of All City. But other than that, I think we had good spacing and people really trying to help us out at La Fortune Stadium the second night. So, there's some challenges there. We're moving forward. We've talked about we're gonna fix some seating, make some seating arrangements this week at our home venues. But for the most part, I think people have been pretty helpful, and I feel pleased about that.
Do we have any idea, because it's such a big topic right now on vaccination, how many of our staff members have got the vaccine?
Again, I think there's no way of because people don't have to divulge that.
Correct.
But I would say that most people have been really coming around and taking the vaccination. People have been accommodating with that as well. So I think as we continue to make the recommendation, people are starting to follow that. I think again, people don't want to be sick, and this is a very deadly disease, as you well know. So I think people are really trying to comply with that and really want to be helpful. And I think our staff has really taken course with that.
I think the stark reality of it really came to fruition last year when Rogers couldn't play in the state basketball tournament, and the year before when we ended the season in March. And people realized this is a real deal. I mean, we've got to do this to protect ourselves and our student athletes.
Again, I think, Gil, as learning from you and taking notes from not only yourself, but people throughout Tulsa County, we want to be safe. We want to do the right thing by kids. And it only takes that one time to really bring a district or bring a school to its knees if something like tragic were to happen, and we don't want that. We want to err on the side of caution, and I think that as we do that, I think our parents and our community members appreciate that. So anything we can do to make things easier for kids and make them safe, we want to do that.
Excellent. Well, we have some ongoing projects at East Central and Central. Let's talk a little bit about that. The East Central gymnasium is under construction.
They're moving forward there. Probably right now, the biggest thing is we're really trying to move quickly and expeditiously at Central, the football stadium, because we want to try to finish that up. And I think it's game 4 or 3 that we want to have that thing ready and for the first home game. Obviously, we're going to have to play one of the other home games at Milton, so they'll be back where where they've played previously. But if we can get the football stadium ready at Central, then that would be really, really good. We've been over there the last couple of weeks several times to take a look. In fact, this last time we have a sinkhole now that has developed at Central in the turf, and that's because they think Taylor Estes has talked to us, there may be a sinkhole somewhere under that area, and luckily it's not on the playing surface, so it's something that we could probably mark off or avoid if we're able to get the stadium open and ready. But they felt that they could get that fixed pretty quickly as well. So
I think in all due respect to the contractors and our architects, they had some building permit problems with the city when the cyber attack hit the city. It shut down the building permits, and so that really lengthened, I think, those two projects, and that's unfortunate, especially with Central, because they did expect to play there this year.
it's going to be a nice stadium. It won't be too large. It won't be too small. It'll be a nice, cozy stadium for the right size and be able to accommodate people in a nice way. Looking forward to it. I know our community, the people that have really lifted us up and supported that, the Central community, they're really excited about this opportunity. So it's going to be a great time.
Be a great opening. Well, I'm glad you're here. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to open that stadium. We'll be back after these messages.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show what they're good at.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. As we start the 21-22 school year, we want you to know that TPS staff and administration will be monitoring the current COVID protocols so that we can provide a safe environment for all of our student athletes, coaches, and our patrons. Hopefully, we'll be able to have our student athletes and compete all year long without any interruptions and in-person instruction. You can support our student athletes by attending the games, meets, and matches at our local schools. We have games this week. Booker T plays Southmore at Williams Stadium. McLean will play Central at Driver Stadium. That's the North Side Classic, and that'll be a heck of a football game. And then Rogers opens with Okmulgee in the Will Rogers Stadium. To support our student athletes and all of their activities with the volleyball, softball, cross country, and football, be a TPS patron. Thank you.